Okay. Today is February 28th. Let's go over the session. So we opened with a small gap down on the RTH, um, sitting right at 12,041. Um, if you look on like a tick chart, you'll be able to see kind of why we bounced there. Let me just pull one up here. So over first, sorry, let's start with ETH. It's a little bit easier, and you'll kind of see it in ETH alone. Okay, so 930 is about here. Overnight, we basically rejected in here at the 786 fib, sold off, broke 80, and came down to test 30. Both of those levels were on my chart prior. Great reaction off 30, came up near 80. That was basically last chance for shorts to try. Came down, made the higher low, and then cleared. And then we got a little bit of squeeze after that, right? So London basically bought the dip at 315, and then it pushed us back up to 145 before basically selling off in the morning. I think that works out with this fib here. So again, right at the 786, which is kind of key. That's kind of like last chance for that trend, right? So if you're in a downtrend, once you start clearing that, it's basically turning into an uptrend. Rejected there, sold down. We opened in here and moved higher after some nasty consolidation, right? So basically in the morning, there was a lot of indecision between basically 145 and 30. And you can see that here. We had this little trend line. I think it goes back here. Sorry, let me just pull up a. Okay. Here. This is a 10,000 tick chart. This is from the low to 4 o'clock. And then this is 9:30. So really close to the downtrend line. Basically, anyone getting long in there is risking first these lows. So, they filled at 40, 45, and about 10, 12 points of risk. So you can't really argue with that. Came up and started to retest some of these previous highs, looking for more downtrend. So lots of indecision. Basically, in this mess, as long as you didn't get stuck in the middle somewhere, like say played the bounce, you're watching for the 1280 short, and then basically immediately stopped out, right? Because there's quite a bit of risk there anyways, so it's not worth playing. It's 20 points of risk. Better off trying to short versus this high. But stops are above there, popped, came up, and then people are getting short versus these highs. And sells, and then it just basically consolidated until we finally had a directional move, right? So let's go to RTH. It's a little bit more clear on RTH, right? So we had high from yesterday. We had the gap up the high, the lower high, came down, gap down. We made the lower low, come back up, lower high, and then we got a higher low, lower high, higher low, and then the consolidation broke, right? So once we broke this trend line from the previous day, broke out, retested, and then a little bit of a squeeze, right? So about 60-ish points from there. And again, you don't need to buy here. You can buy the reclaims of levels, or if you go down to a smaller time frame, usually it gives you the higher low, right? Something to risk verse. So this kind of makes the pop up, clears that high, comes down, higher low, goes up, right? And then same thing here. Gets some consolidation, pops up, comes up, it's clearing these highs, higher low, and then it goes. So it kind of happens pretty consistently. Or if you look at it from like a trend line perspective, you know, kind of, you can just see the uptrend is there. Bulls are a little bit in control in this area because it's not even coming down to test that trend line. But yeah, so we got that pop, and then lots of sellers in here. You could see the kind of the clue that I thought of. I was a little early. I tried to short up in here at here. I saw this 172 high. I was thinking short here. Bang it off. I was thinking short here versus this. I had my stop a little too tight, so I filled at. Oh no, I filled here. Where did I fill? Oh yeah, I filled at 60. It came up, consolidated, which is what I wanted to see immediate rejection, which we didn't get. So I was a little early, and I had my stop just above it. It took me out, and then it pretty much got this immediately, and then I missed it, right? So you could have also played this break, which I did play the break, but it pretty much came back on me quickly, so I only got about 10 points. I was expecting break, go. Yeah, and then again, buyers started to hold on. This was a VWAP from this low, I believe. It tried to hold, pop, and then sell again. Same kind of deal, and then a pretty steep sell, right? Because this was mostly just short covering as shorts got squeezed over the highs into this, distributed all the contracts, and then we sold off, right? After that, we never made a higher high, I believe, right? So it kind of like gives you like a rounded top. Breaks this. If we had a bullish trend, we wouldn't have broke 145. You know, you can consolidate around it, but breaks you don't want to see. And then basically the pop was sold immediately, right? As everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall, and then basically last hour liquidation of all the longs from the whole day and closing on new lows on the day from the RTH session. That's pretty bearish in my mind. But yeah, lots of plays. This was really tough to play in the morning. Nice clean long, and the shorts actually were pretty clean, but sometimes it's hard to switch. Like you see this big move here, and you're thinking maybe consolidation and next leg, but it's kind of late in the day for that. Usually that more happens like pops in the morning, consolidate, pops after lunch, and then maybe a squeeze into the end of the day. But this was kind of like the wrong timing for it. But yeah, patience. You got to really position yourself well, right? Like, so if you shorted the 145 pop, you'd have been okay. You know, I use about 12 points of risk, 12, 15 points. So be okay there. And then once you get the break of the 130, it's coming down. It came all the way down. This was VWAP here at 107, which I thought it would hold. I did try a small long there. Because we got a pop, higher low. So I got long in here, risking versus this. And then it immediately popped up. Shorts joined in, and then it kind of sold off. And then once it broke that 107, 110, they gave a quick flush into the end of the day. But you can see really never really made higher high all the way down until this consolidation. And it was kind of tricky, right? Because it's not higher, lower low, and then this comes up and pops it. It doesn't break this. So I guess the downtrend overall is still intact. But if you had your stops just above this, you maybe got stopped. So that maybe gave it a little more oomph. because they're probably not expecting it to come all the way back that high. They're maybe expecting it to come to here. But so it's good to leave a little bit of room, right? Like if you were short from here, maybe took some profit and you had a runner, you probably want to leave it up over here until these lows break, and then you can move it down. But yeah, so that's kind of my recap for today. Nothing, again, this price action is really tricky and people can get really screwed up in there. I know I had some trouble. I tried short right out of the morning, quickly got 20 plus points, and then I set my stop. I think I was short around in here, and I set my stop right below where I entered, and I came back and it was stopped out. And then trying to join longs, getting no, I tried to join long at 80, nice pop, and then came back on me because I'm expecting 45. And then I think I tried long 80 again, and I was a little bit more quicker on the profit taking, seeing what kind of day it was turning into. Yeah, so let's look at the daily quick. So kind of ugly, getting some relief here in ETH and Globex. The monthly is still, it's looking really bearish as start of a new month. So below 25, we're gonna have to be short. And the weekly also looks ugly, right? Kind of same thing. And again, as soon as we got close to the recent high the previous day, the last couple of days, it's sold. So we'll have to see. The big key is can bulls make a higher high and squeeze some of those shorts, so maybe we get a pop back up into here. But we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see 925 at least tested again. Maybe make a double bottom and then see some relief and then down. But I don't know. We'll have to see it. Take a day-to-day bait, right? Is there anything else that I want to recap? Hourly time frame. ETH. Right, so we're continuously making lower lows. Any pops up here are kind of sold. People are basically just playing the extremes anywhere they can get. Trend is overall down, but it's choppy. We're kind of in this balance here. Buyers and sellers are kind of equal with a slight edge to the downside. Obviously, as you can see, we've had mini sell days the last little while here. So it would be nice to get at least one trend day higher for more sell, right? Somewhere into like 350 is what I would like. But I don't know if we'll get that. Anyways, that's it for me. Any questions, comments, just leave in the YouTube comments. And I will see you guys tomorrow.